Today's video will cover how to connect imaging source cameras and add them to your PAQi configuration. Included will be how to connect imaging source cameras to your system, how to add imaging source cameras to your PAQi configuration, how to adjust camera settings to get the optimal image, and how to create a camera profile to save your camera settings for future use. You will want to start by connecting your camera to your PAQi controller unit through the USB 3.0 ports or the designated camera ports that are labeled on the side of the PAQi controller unit. Once you have connected your cameras, you will want to navigate to the IC Capture program to verify that you have made a proper connection with your camera. IC Capture will show your device type as well as your serial number, firmware revision, and driver version in the Select Device window. If your device is not shown in the Select Device window, try unplugging the device and replugging it into the USB port, or plugging it into a different USB port, or checking the cable connection to the camera head itself, or restarting your controller unit and trying this process again. Here we see that our device is connected, and we will select it in the Select Device window. Here you will see your image is shown, as well as the part that you're going to inspect or your live camera view. Once you have verified your connection, you can go ahead and close IC Capture. Next, you will want to navigate to the PAQi configuration program, which is located on your desktop. In the camera setup menu is a variety of options and settings you can modify for your connected camera. In the camera window section, you will see top left, top center, top right, bottom left, bottom center, and bottom right. This is where your image results will be displayed in the PAQi operating program. In the camera section, you will see your connected camera as well as any other cameras you have connected to the system. In camera names, you will see identifiers for each one of your cameras that you have selected. PAQi can support up to 6 imaging source cameras, and they start with identifier 1 and will go up to identifier 6. You can also select the type of camera you're using, your image format, the number of samples, the quality of your JPEG images, and rotational position for the images. You can also choose to remove cameras or restore cameras using the buttons below. Once you have added your camera, in this case the identifier 1, you can choose to modify your camera settings, which is your camera resolution, as well as your camera frame rate in the drop-down menus below. Finally, you can also return to settings, save your camera settings, or select your camera viewer using the camera viewer button. Here I will set my settings or my resolution, my frame rate, and also create an identifier for this camera, in this case identifier 1. We recommend you always choose the highest settings and highest frame rate option available. Save, replace, and then navigate to your camera viewer to check your live image. The camera viewer menu, you will see you have multiple options to adjust your settings and optimize your camera view for inspection purposes. You have a snap button to acquire an image. You have properties to change your camera values and settings. You have profile to set camera profiles. You can also change the camera you have selected or rotate the image. You can also bring up the camera properties by simply clicking on the image, where a variety of settings options will be available. We recommend that you navigate to WDR and enable tone mapping and automatic. We also recommend that you adjust your focus settings to optimize your image view. And we recommend that you deselect exposure and gain automatic adjustment for your image. Other settings depend on your specific application or part being inspected. You are free to modify these as needed. Once you have identified the proper settings for your image, you will want to apply and then select OK. A prompt will come up which asks if you would like to create a new camera profile. You will likely want to select Create New Profile so you can use this profile for this camera for future use. You can also set as default, which will set these camera settings for all other cameras that are added to the device. We will now create a new profile, select Yes, and then name our profile. In this case, I will name it Demo Video Setting. Click Save, and we have now created a new camera profile. You can also change your camera in the Change Camera menu by selecting a new camera in the drop-down menu. Since we only have one camera, we will simply stick with camera 1. You can also snap an image by clicking the Snap button, which will prompt you to select a folder to store an image and snap an image with these camera settings. You can also select different camera profiles and toggle in between them through this menu. In this case, we have set the Demo Video Setting profile and have selected it. This concludes all of the features and steps to adding a camera through the PAQi configuration program. Next, we will review how to do these steps in the PAQi operational program. These steps can sometimes be easier through the operational program because of wizards and tools that are set up to guide you through this process. Start by opening the PAQi operational program through the shortcut on the desktop. Selecting Options in the operational program will bring up the PAQi configuration program, where you can navigate to camera setup as you previously did. Here, the camera viewer is available and will show the same camera viewer as we had seen previously. Since we have already created our profile, we can exit out of this menu. Another option is to select the Train button, which will allow you to directly bring up the camera viewer live and even in production. Select your camera name, as well as your camera profile. I'm going to select the demo camera profile, which is a pre-made profile for my specific part in view. Here, I can swap out different parts, put them in view to verify that my camera settings work for all of the parts to be inspected. After I made sure that my settings are proper for every single part, I can then place my original part and exit out of this menu. You can also select profiles and toggle between profile options to check if different profiles work for different parts. This gear button also allows you to remove all unused profiles. I can now exit out of this and cancel. And here we will demonstrate how the different camera setup options influence the operational program. In the camera section, you can have different names if you have multiple cameras selected listed in this area. Also in the camera window, this is where the position of your image result will display on the operational program. For example, top left will be here, top center will be here, top right will be here, bottom left will be here, bottom center will be here, and bottom right will be here. Since we have added our camera and set our settings, we can just exit out here, and we can snap an image to see the results of our camera setup. As you can see, we have snapped an image, and the quality of the image is good for inspection. This concludes how to set up cameras manually in the PAQi configuration program as well as the operating program.